Hello, popcorn lovers. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Cassie.
Now, if you're looking for the perfect movies to give you a serious case of the creeps this Halloween,
Hmm.
then buckle up, Buttercup, because today we're diving into two absolute classics. You know, you might have forgotten these movies, but after hanging out with us, we hope you will love, or at the very least, watch these two films.
That's right. It's our Halloween special, and our movie picks this year are Misery and Final Destination. Why these two, you may ask?
Hmm.
There really is no good answer. It's a gift from God.
Gift from God. Okay, Cassie, let's start with Final Destination, a film that came out back in 2000 when the song Who Let the Dogs Out was popular and the TV show Survivor premiered.
First of all,
Ouch.
that makes me feel so old.
God, you were
And
dancing to
to
Who
who
Let
let
the
the dogs out?
Dogs Out?
Who let the dogs
Mm.
out? And isn't Survivor on season like 40?
Yeah, like 43.
Jeez Louise. All right.
That's harsh.
It hurts. It hurts my bones. All
Okay,
right.
Final Destination.
Final Destination. When Final Destination came out, it had a concept that I had never seen in a movie before. For those that have not seen this film before, or if it's just been a really long time, this film is not your typical slasher horror flick. In this film, they are running literally from death. There is no way to track, hunt, or kill the killer. They are trying to stay alive long enough to change their fate. Do you hear me, people? Change their fate. This is a movie that is always on my Halloween must watch list. Did you know that Jeffrey Riddick, who is one of the writers on the film, had thought about Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst as the leads instead of Devon Sawa and Ali Lauder?
Okay, I could totally see Kristen Dunst playing that role, hands
Yes, I
down.
agree. Yep.
She would have been great.
Yep.
Um, Toby Maguire?
Toby.
No,
No.
no. But
Mm-mm.
can we
I don't
just
see it.
have a quick shout out to Devon Sawa? Like who didn't have a crush on him back in 2000?
Casper. Dance
S-
scene.
Say no more. I was so jealous of Christina Ricci.
So jealous.
Oh my god.
Actually, because she had him twice, right? Because she also had him in Now
That's
and
what she
Then.
said. Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
Dang, Christina.
Christina, jelly
God.
of you back then.
Exactly. For me, watching this movie is really fun and nostalgic. I haven't seen this movie since it came out back in 2000. So
Sarah.
when you and I were talking about it and you brought it up, I'm like, okay, yeah, let me try this again. And I love two things about it.
Yes.
One, the premise, like you already mentioned, I found the fear of like unavoidable death to be such an unsettling concept. And I feel like it
Hmm.
definitely keeps everyone on the edge of their seat.
Yeah.
And also, I thought that the death scenes were creative, both elaborate and unexpected. I thought they had good suspense and were entertaining.
Hmm.
My favorite was the bathroom scene. So remember, he's like in there and you could see the water like running out of the toilet and it's like creeping towards him. And you're like, oh my God, is he going to slip? Is he not?
Yeah. Yep.
And he's like shaving. They always do the shaving.
I know. And
It's
always
like
a nick,
always a
like
nick.
on the neck, a nick on the neck.
Exactly.
Yep.
A nick in the neck. And even though you know it's always coming, it always makes you like cringe, like every
Nervous.
time.
Like, oh, no. Like, is that going to be? My thought first went to, okay, so that's how he's going to die. It's going to be a
It's
cut on the
slice.
neck.
Yeah.
But
No,
death fooled
it's not.
us. Yeah, death fooled
Death
us.
fooled us and got
Yep.
him a few seconds later. I thought it was probably really fun in like the writer's room thinking of like creative ways in which death is going to like come after these guys.
But a little morbid. No?
I mean, it's the movie. Did you have a
Technicalities.
favorite part in this? I'm just curious.
Um, I didn't really have like a scene that stood out because I just feel like the whole movie kind of stands out. But what I really like about the film itself is that it is a film that I can watch over and over, and it
And
still
over.
had and over. and over.
and over.
But it's always still entertaining. It's always still effective, and I'm still having those same butterflies every time I watch it, even though I know
Huh,
exactly what's going to happen.
interesting.
And I think one of the ways, and this is a fun fact that I wanted to add in, but I think that they're really effective in creating that kind of uneasy ambiance because it's not just, of course, the subject matter, because that's
Mhm.
pretty serious too, but it's also in the sets and the costumes. They created double sets for, they'll have one for before the crash and then after the crash. And we get to see the difference of everything before and after. So before, everything is brightly colored, but after, what we see is washed out and muted colors. We see that the sets are a little bit askew. So that kind of, we don't see it, we don't notice it, but we notice that something is off. And that's
Hmm.
what gives us that kind of unnatural feeling or the illusion of that, which I thought was great.
Yeah, that's a good fun fact. Actually, that alone is worth going back and watching to kind of keep an eye out for. I
Yeah,
did
and
not catch that.
yep,
Very interesting.
yeah.
Listen, you guys, if you want more of what makes this movie worth a watch this Halloween season, make sure to head over to our podcast for our full episode. We have so many fun facts about the making of these two movies.
Next up is Misery, a 1990 classic, which came out the same year as MC Hammer's song You Can't Touch This, and the popular teen show that debuted that year, 90210, a show that
I
I never watched.
Okay, to be fair, I never watched it either, but we were too young.
True,
So
true. We were too
it
young.
wasn't for us yet.
Yeah.
Um, I did circle back later years to watch a little bit. Like obviously I remember when Kelly OD'd in the bathroom when she was taking those diet pills,
Oh, geez.
but that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about that today. And I know when you said MC Hammers, you can't touch this, you wanted to sing that song.
I wanted to do the dance.
I definitely wanted to do the dance. And I had those MC Hammer pants like for fun.
Oh my God. I wish I had them, but I
Oh
never
my,
did.
I know.
I never did.
Okay, back to Misery.
Back to Misery.
Misery stars James Caan as Paul Sheldon, a successful novelist who crashes his car and is rescued by Annie Wilkes. She's a recluse in the middle of the woods, and she is played by the phenomenal Kathy Bates.
I have to say, I had not watched this movie in such a long time. And watching this movie again, I loved seeing Kathy Bates, first of all. I know you love her. I love her. She
We all
is,
love her.
we all love her. She is in her element in this movie. I think this is probably one of her best works that she's done. I also loved that.
Have you not? Sorry, I'm going to
Oh,
pause you there
oh,
just because you make a sweeping comment.
I'm
Hold
making,
on.
yeah.
Have you not seen her as Evelyn Couch in Fried Green Tomatoes?
I knew this was going to come up.
You guys are seeing this first. What's the answer?
I am going to stick with my guns on this, and I'm going to double down and say that this is her in her element.
Okay, but I feel like you dodged the question. Have you seen Fried Green Tomatoes?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a really long time since I've
The
seen
answer
it.
is no. You have not seen it.
I have seen it. We've seen it together.
Well, we're about to rewatch it again. Okay. Anyway, continue. Absolutely, she is amazing in this movie.
Yes,
I will give you
yes,
that.
yes. Another thing that I really loved is because the filming is all done basically in a room, we are hit super heavy with feelings of being trapped, claustrophobia, and really all the feelings we feel in this movie, in this room.
So many feels.
So many feels. And you're kind of going through it with James Caan, and the movie never feels stale. It always is keeping you wanting to know more. What is going to happen? Is he going to get out of this? Is he going to escape? All of those things.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting is that when Stephen King wrote the character of Annie, he wrote her as a metaphor for his personal drug addiction. And
Wow.
Apparently, he suffered a long time from alcoholism, and so Annie kind of represents how he felt, which is constantly trapped and isolated by his addiction.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really interesting. And apparently in the book, Paul has a drug addiction, although we don't see that in the film. They chose to not put that in as much, but it's a nod back to his struggle with addiction. And I'll say, like you, I had not watched the movie in a really long time,
Mm.
but I'm so glad that we chose to rewatch it. It's such a great battle of survival and control. And first up, we have the most iconic scene of the movie. Everyone knows it. It's the sledgehammer scene. And
Sledgehammer.
okay, like that movie. I mean, that song. Was
I was
that?
just literally just repeating what you said.
You know that song? I don't know
There's a
who
song,
sings it that
Sledgehammer?
goes sledgehammer. Dun, dun. Okay. She stands alone. Okay. Listen, the scene I'm setting you up, it's Annie, and she's basically realizing, oh no, Paul's getting healthy. He's going to be able to walk soon, and then
Mm.
he's going to leave. And so she's like, how do I make him stay longer? And she has this bright idea. I'm going to sneak into his room at night. I'm going to put this big wooden block between his two ankles. And then I'm going to take a big sledgehammer and I'm just going to break those ankles.
Ooh. Sounds like
Now,
a good time.
doesn't it? Now, realistically, you would never be able to walk again from that.
Mm-mm.
But whatever, that's movie magic happening.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is it's a departure from the book. So the book, basically, she like cuts off the foot with a blade and then like cauterizes it with a blowtorch.
Oh,
Apparently, they
that
thought
is
that was too violent.
okay. Unpopular opinion here. I would have preferred the book version
Hmm.
because I feel like seeing her hit his legs with the sledgehammer and hearing it and then seeing what those jelly legs were doing, that hurt me more than just a cut and a blowtorch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I think that, back for the 90s, that felt very gruesome, but now we have like Saw 1 through like 10, so
Yeah, yeah.
we're
We're
not impacted.
desensitized.
Mhm.
Did you know that James Caan had to spend 15 weeks in bed filming this movie? It sounds like a cakewalk to me, but I guess as a more physical actor, this would be super challenging for him. He said he felt like director Rob Reiner was punishing him. Aw, poor guy.
Poor guy. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
I will say that the character of Annie is like psychological horror perfection. Her vocabulary is like a combination of quirky old fashioned
Mhm.
phrases and like unsettling language. And this obviously adds to her charm and reveals her mental instability. And a few faves that I just wanted to point out to
Yeah.
remind you guys to spark your interest in going back and watching this movie is
Or
one,
or incorporating it into everyday life.
that's not crazy,
I'm
actually.
I'm just saying, just saying.
Okay, well, I hope you can use this one next time we talk. Cock a doodie. Use that anytime you feel like swearing.
Hmm.
So instead of saying a swear, say cockadoodie. Let's
Cockadoodie.
see where it goes.
Let's
Let's
see where it
see.
goes. Got it.
My favorite one that she uses is dirty bird. I love it when she calls him a dirty bird. So funny. And last but not least, and I think a lot of people will know this phrase, it's I'm your number one fan.
Mm.
And of course, at first, when you hear her use it, it seems like it's endearing, but really it will end up taking on a sinister tone as her obsession with Paul spirals. This is such a great movie, and I could spend all day telling you guys fun facts about this film.
We both agree that watching Misery and Final Destination during the Halloween season offers the perfect mix of psychological terror and suspense.
With Misery delivering intense claustrophobic fear,
And Final Destination keeping viewers on the edge with its unpredictable and imaginative death scenes.
that said, we both give these movies 4 out of 5 buckets of popcorn. And don't forget, you can hear all our insights about these two movies on our podcast, Popcorn Paparazzi.
That's right. And join us back here next week as we talk about the hot new show on Netflix, Nobody Wants This, starring Kristen Bell and Adam Brody.
Until then, enjoy the movies, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.